Hey everybody, I'm Emily. This is gonna be my YouTube channel, probably mostly about food because I'm a foodie. I love food. I love cooking food. Today we're gonna be making banana bread because who doesn't love banana bread? And I'm putting mini chocolate chips in mine because bananas and chocolate match made in heaven, okay? So today we're going to be making that and I'm gonna show you my version of it. A lot of the food that I'm going to be making is BRB. So anyway, ignore my dryer because it's completely obnoxious, clearly. Okay, so as you'll find in my videos, most of the food that I'm making is like my first time making it. And I have found that that's usually the best time I've made food because a lot of times I'll make something that I've seen off of YouTube or Pinterest or something like that. And I make it like spot on, perfect, it's delicious, everybody loves it. And then the second time I make it, it's like, eh. Usually I forgot an ingredient or something because I didn't write it down. So I just kind of like to have fun with it and do what I can do. And today I just felt like making banana bread because I have these old bananas that have just been kind of chilling on my counter in my fruit bowl. And I feel bad for them, so I'm going to put them to use, you know, make some good banana bread. So anyway, I'm going to show you what you will need. Excuse my really tight space, by the way, for my counters. Doing what I can work with here. So first I get my measuring cups out because I know I'm going to need 2 cups of flour, so I got my cup out. I need 3/4 cup of brown sugar. Any brown sugar will do. I use 1/4 cup because I don't know where my 3/4 is, so I just use this 3 times. You need a tablespoon of vanilla extract, so I have my tablespoon, and 1/4 tablespoon of your salt. I almost said sugar. Salt. Okay, so then obviously you heard me say I need salt, vanilla extract. I use a little bit of cinnamon in there, the brown sugar obviously, flour, baking soda. You want to be careful with this one because a lot of people assume I'm saying baking powder, and that is not what you want. You want baking soda. 2 eggs at room temperature because they will mix better with your mixtures. A stick of room temperature butter. You want 4 of your really ripe bananas. Typically, like, the browner the better. Mine are pretty, oh, they're falling off. That's how, yeah, they're ready. And then you're gonna want your pan or grease or however you, line your pans when you're baking. And then your pan here, this is a 6-inch. I don't exactly know the straight measurements of it. I don't know if it says it in here. You can't even see it anyway. Anyway, use what you got, because don't forget to grab your mini chocolate chips if you want some. If not, you don't have to do this part. I know a lot of people don't like chocolate. I love chocolate and bananas. They go well together, so. And obviously some mixing bowls. I don't have those out, but that's another thing you'll need. So the first thing you're going to want to do is preheat your oven to 350. Okay, so now the first thing you want to do is get your bigger bowl. You're going to want 2, one for your dry ingredients, one for your wet ingredients. The reason we do this is so at the end it mixes right. It's kind of just the way that baking is done. You don't really want to mix it all at once. It'll get gross. So the first thing we want is 2 cups of flour. And by the way, you always want a bigger bowl for your dry ingredients because you add your wet ingredients to your dry ingredients. I always make sure that it's level because you don't want it to be mismeasured. Alright, so next dry ingredient, I put in the cinnamon next. Really can go, salt, cinnamon, however you want to do it, doesn't matter as long as it's all in there. So my cinnamon, I take a tablespoon. I usually just take the cover off because then you have the wider opening there. It's a little easier to get this thing in here. I put that in there. And I use the top to kind of just, do that. And then again, you just want to level it off because you don't want too much of it in there. So So then you have your level scoop. Salt for cinnamon. Alright, then I do my salt, which is only 1/4 of a tablespoon. So I just take my salt here, got the little edge there. I'm sure you've all seen a salt container before. This looks like it's over top of it, but it's not. You never want to measure anything over your bowl, because if you get too much of it in it, you're gonna have to restart. And once you've started, say you put too much cinnamon in, sorry, but you're screwed. You're not getting it out. You know, you could, I spilled some. But anyway, so there's that, just a little bit. It's basically just a pinch. If you don't have the measuring cup, just pinch it in there. And then baking soda is our last piece for this, and you need a tablespoon. So I just use the same one that I used my cinnamon, just wipe it off so it doesn't mix in there. And again, just level it out, make sure there's not more than there should be. And boom, there's our dry ingredients. So I just like to take a fork and mix it together, makes it easier for the end. Alright. Your dry ingredients to look like that. Okay, just mix them up. Make sure everything's good. Then just set this aside, because you're done with that. You don't need that. Alright, so I have my bowl for my bananas. I'm using 4 very ripe bananas. As you saw, they're definitely ripe. They're falling apart literally off of the vine, or the whatever it's called there. So you're just gonna peel these off, obviously. You don't want the skins. Alright, now I'm going to take the same fork that I used to mix my dry ingredients, because nothing on it, they're dry. And you're just going to mush these up. And this part kind of goes with like however you like it. Some people like it more mush than others. Some people like the chunks of their bananas in there. Really all depends on your desire, how you want it done. I like mine to be a little smoother, so I'm just going to mush it up really nice and fine. You know, I really love getting that smell of the crushed bananas. It's very sweet. So, basically you want it to look really mushed up like this. Again, depends on your desire. Some people like it more chunky than others. All depends on how you like it. Banana on my thumb. Okay, so set that aside again. We don't need that yet. Alright, now bring over your last mixing bowl for your wet ingredients. This is what we're going to do. Sounds weird. Brown sugar. I know you guys are probably thinking, well, where's the brown sugar? Dry ingredients. Okay. This gets mixed together with your butter. So, my bad. I said that wrong. Butter first. So, remember, you want this to be room temperature. You don't want it to be melted, but you want it to be mushy. You don't want it to be like, don't throw it in the microwave for 20 seconds or it'll melt. Alright, 3/4 cup of packed brown sugar. So when I say packed, I'm gonna get it in there. And I usually just use the bag so I don't have to touch it with my hand. But you literally just pack it into a measuring cup. Helps again get correct measurement, so that way it's flat. I'm gonna do 3 of these because I need 3/4 cup. Alright, now that we have that all together, you want to mix it together so that way it becomes almost creamy. You don't want it to, this is how it looks now. You're going to want it not to be chunky. Alright, so once you've mixed together your butter and your brown sugar, it really should look like this. You want it to be creamy, not thick, not chunky. And now we're gonna add our 2 eggs. One at a time, and you wanna mix them each in between very well so it incorporates into the batter a little bit better. Alright, once you've added your 2 eggs, this should be, it's like extra creamy now, you know, like it's real. Oops. Yeah, so anyway, it's really creamy, it's really nice. Now we're gonna add our mashed bananas. So I'm just gonna... Okay, last thing for the wet ingredients is you're going to want your tablespoon of vanilla extract. I like vanilla extract, so I do just like a little tiny bit more. Alright, and this is where normal people would put their dry ingredients in their wet ingredients. I like to do it backwards. I like to also stir this in there while I'm doing this. Put in my dry ingredients and I mix them in a little bit. And now I'm going to get as much off of this whisk as I can. Now I'm going to use a spatula to start folding it. I'm going to grab my spatula. And this is when I just, fold it in together. Alright, so now that you have folded your batter into the banana bread, you're ready to put in the oven. You just need to add your chocolate chips. Now this, I don't ever measure, just eyeball it. Everybody likes a different amount. Some people, like I said, don't like it at all. You don't have to. I've seen people put walnuts in it, which actually sounds really good. I just don't have any walnuts. So yep, I'm just gonna throw these right in here. About that much. I'm just gonna fold it in with the rest of it. Alright, and you can always add anything you want to this, really. Anything you think would go good with bananas, banana bread. It's delicious, by the way. I keep smelling it, and I wish you could smell it. It just smells so good. But now we're ready to put it in our pan. So, you could do this with, like, cupcake / muffins if you wanted to. I'm just going to make the loaf because that's how I want to do it today. So, don't forget to spray your pan or grease it with whatever grease you have. It's a very important part. I learned many times not to forget this. Just give it a little spray. Now we pour. Alright, once you have all your batter in, you're going to want to just spread it around, make sure it's even. And also, if you make more batter than this, if you end up making more or you have a smaller dish, Do not overfill it. You want like at least a half an inch of space above where your batter ends, because it is going to rise in the oven. That's how bread works. Okay, so now remember, we're gonna want to put it in the oven now. You're gonna want it at 350 degrees. And I know this sounds a little ridiculous, but you're gonna want to leave it in there for 60 minutes. Yeah, an hour. That's how you're gonna get the most deliciousness out of this bread. So we leave it in here. I'm gonna set my timer for an hour. All right. Now when this goes off, I'll be back to see you guys and show you how the bread comes out. Okay, you guys, it's been an hour and I have been smelling this from my living room for the past hour, and oh my goodness, look at it. It looks so delicious. I literally just pulled it out of the, oh my gosh, it smells so good. It's just, oh, look at it. It's so beautiful. But yeah, this is what I mean by it rises. It will come up out of the pan. As you can tell, it is above level. Oh my gosh, it just smells so good though.